Hello and welcome to Loudoun County Public Library's Female Leadership Speaker Series. March is Women's History Month, and we are proud to present a series this spring to celebrate the achievements of local women in leadership positions. My name is Susanne Engelhardt, and I work at Sterling Library, and today it is my great pleasure to welcome a woman who has truly made her story. She is the first African-American female assistant coach in the NFL, and she is the first woman on the coaching staff of the Washington football team. Jennifer King, welcome, Coach King.
How you doing?
Pretty good, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm doing great.
All right. Before we talk with Coach King about leadership and her journey, let me give you a little background on her. Before being named assistant running backs coach of the Washington football team, King interned with the team as well as the Carolina Panthers. She was on the coaching staff of the Arizona Hotshots of the AAF, the Alliance of American Football, and she also coached at Dartmouth. In addition, Jennifer King has vast experience as a player. She was a 7-time All-American quarterback and wide receiver in the Women's Football Alliance and won championships with the Carolina Phoenix and the New York Sharks. King also coached college basketball in Greensboro and Charlotte and was named USC AA Division II National Coach of the Year in 2018. Thank you so much for sitting down with us, and congratulations on your historic achievements, Coach King.
Thank you.
All right. So as I just said, you've been on multiple championship teams as a player and as a coach. Even more impressively, you didn't just succeed in one sport. So what is your secret for success?
For me, it was just to attack everything with confidence and, a want to be really good at everything that I did, which started at a very young age for me, I guess through my parents' influence. But I think those things have been really key to my success.
Okay, yeah, we will actually talk a little bit about your role models later on, but my next question is regarding the gender progress that the NFL has seen over the last few years. So you are one of a small but steadily growing number of female coaches. And this past season, women have been coaching on both sidelines and also became more visible as officials, like Sarah Thomas, for instance, who was the first woman to officiate at a Super Bowl just last month. You've said that, and I quote, "Women's presence is not a coincidence." What did you mean by that?
Yeah, I think it was just the success that teams have had with females on their staff. This year, so many teams that made the playoffs in the NFL had women on their staff, and I think diversity wins. So it was a big deal. I think it's a copycat league, so I think it's a good look to see the women on the sideline for a lot of successful teams.
Yes, I certainly agree. And in the process, you kind of become role models as well, which is a nice segue to my next question. If you had to identify one person who influenced you unlike anybody else, who would it be and why?
Oh man, just one person.
You can mention one.
Yeah, I guess I'll just go with my mom, man. Because she worked so hard and gave me so many opportunities, and my dad was there too, but I could only pick one, so I'll just go with her. But she provided so much for me as far as just confidence and being able to do so much, and she took me to all my practices and everything that I wanted to get to, just to give me experiences that I wanted to have. So definitely appreciative for her.
Yes, and she was there from day one, and like I said, definitely very strong support for you. You've also said that you've drawn a lot of inspiration from the coaches that you've worked with, but who inspired you to play sports, and what started your passion for football?
Probably one of the biggest influences for me starting to play sports was my sister, just because she was older and we were always going to games. So naturally, I just started playing sports because I was around sports so much. And definitely got to give the credit to my dad for getting me into football, just because he watched it so much, and we watched so many games at home and went to so many games, high school games and college games.
Yeah, I think the story even is that you started cheering or rooting for the Washington Redskins at the time. That was the first team that you really consciously remember watching.
Yeah, it was, which is, totally full circle moment now. But Yeah, because at the time the Carolina Panthers didn't exist. They came when I was young, so when they came, I kind of moved my alliances just because they were the home team. But definitely grew up, cheering for Washington.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, especially that you are now here in Virginia
Absolutely.
with the Washington football team. All right, you are the first woman in Washington's franchise history to be hired as a coach, and you've said repeatedly in interviews that you, and again I quote, didn't just pop up. This is something that has been years in the making, a lot of work and hard work and dedication. Can you talk about some of the challenges that you encountered and how you overcame them?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I went the college basketball route and was coaching football at lower levels, but to get to the NFL, it took a lot of work and it took a lot of opportunities that people gave me and that hard work combined with those opportunities, allowed me to have more opportunities. But I've been coaching football now for about 10 years. So a lot has gone into me getting to this position and definitely thankful for all the people that helped me get here. But it was a lot of work going into it.
And the work, of course, continues. So I think a lot of our viewers probably wonder what a typical day at work looks like for you. So if you could give us a little insight on that, that would be great.
Yeah, well, it's kind of nice now in the off season. It's more of a normal day for us. So, we're out of the office at a decent time, but in season, so probably from July to January, hopefully February, we're working anywhere from 13 to 15 hours a day. So we're here all day. It feels like all night sometimes, just trying to prepare for whoever we're playing on Sunday. So much goes into a game week. So the off season is definitely nice to have more of a normal, just 8 hour day.
Yeah, I imagine it is. So on a typical day, you would watch a lot of footage, I assume, and then also work with the running backs, or
Yeah, in season we have there's a bunch of meetings, lots of film, and then obviously we have practice and get to watch more film and watch practice, and a lot of preparation goes into it. And right now, in the off season, it's kind of seeing what we did a good job at, seeing what we need to improve upon. That's what we're really doing now and getting prepared for free agency and the draft. So still a lot of tape to watch and a lot of meetings.
and of course there's a lot of stuff going on right now for the Washington football team as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Can you share the best professional advice you've been given, and who gave you that advice?
Yeah, it's kind of easy, not to be like a sucker, but Coach Rivera told me to just stay ready when I first started with the Panthers, and that was something I took to heart, and I took it as preparing myself for the next opportunity. So I feel like each opportunity that I've gotten, I've been prepared to step into the role. So you don't want to be surprised and want something, but then it's afforded to you, you're not prepared for it. So you gotta stay ready.
How do you motivate yourself? I mean, if you kind of try to stay ready all the time, being, ready all the time, that takes a lot of self-motivation as well. How do you motivate yourself?
Yeah, I've always just had kind of a drive to want to be really good at whatever I did. So even as a kid, I just had this drive to always want to be good. So it hasn't changed as an adult. So I really just I want to be really good at everything that I do. So I continue to work, and I think that keeps me going every day.
Yeah, I think it also kind of ties in with my next question. So you've coached middle and high school, college and professional sports. You've dealt with a lot of different ages and aspirations. So how do you keep your players motivated?
Yeah, that's one of the best parts of the job. We get to work with elite athletes in the NFL, but they want to be better. So it's all about finding ways to make them better, little things that can help them on Sundays and help their game go to a new level, which is exciting. And it's exciting that they want to be better.
Absolutely, yes. I guess without wanting to be better, you don't really get to be in the professional league.
Right.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about leadership. How would you define leadership, and how would you describe your leadership style?
Yeah, I think, leadership is just, the ability to bring people together for a common goal. And there's obviously a lot of different styles of leadership. My personal leadership style It's more, by example. I'm not much of a animated leader, but I get the point across, and I think people can kind of relate to me. So I think that's helped a lot with my leadership style.
Yeah. Okay. What have sports or professional sports taught you, and how have they shaped you as a leader?
I think the biggest thing is just the standard of things at the professional level. It's so high, and everything has to be high as far as your standard. So as a leader, I think you need to really get the message across that the standard is the standard, which is high, and everyone needs to follow that high standard in order for you to be successful.
I imagine that because you've played not just basketball and football yourself, you've also played softball, volleyball, ran track and field, but a lot of team sports, I guess, that also kind of shaped your leadership style, most likely.
Yeah, I guess I was always kind of a leader on the teams that I was a part of growing up, and moving into coaching. You're the leader of the team. So I guess I've kind of been grooming myself for this since I was a child.
It certainly sounds like it, yes. And that's very inspirational too, to kind of keep up this high level over, not just different or through different sports, but also different levels. All right. Good communication is an essential leadership skill. Coach Ron Rivera and running backs coach Randy Jordan have both talked about your tremendous communication skills. So, how would you describe your communication style? And do you maybe have any tips so we could improve our own communication?
I think communication is huge in all areas of life, and that's something that I always try to get better at. Sometimes I feel like I'm not the best communicator, but just to be able to relate to everyone. I think as a coach, you know that everyone's different, so you can't communicate with everyone the same because everyone receives messages differently. And I think a lot of that helped when I worked with the police department back in High Point, North Carolina, just because you never know what you're going to run into, and you have to be able to communicate with so many different types of people under so many different types of circumstances. So I think that really helped my communication a lot.
Yeah, I think since you're referring to your time as a police officer, I think a lot of people don't really know that, but while you were assistant coach in Greensboro, you during the day worked as a police officer and really kind of had to pivot from everyday police business to, I think you said, dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds. So really kind of pivoting and talking to a lot of different people is something that I think you really did get to practice.
Absolutely.
Probably comes in quite handy now.
Right.
All right, just have a couple more questions here. Women often struggle with self-promotion. So do you have any suggestions on how women can maybe become a little bit more confident in speaking up?
I mean, it's so important to know that you're powerful and you're strong, and you're beautiful in your own way, and always have that confidence about doing anything that you do. And there'll always be people that may doubt you or may say bad things about you, but it starts with self. And just love yourself, and work your behind off to be ready for opportunities that you have, and essentially don't be willing to accept the no. So really be good at what you do.
Yeah, so self-confidence kind of stems from being good, really kind of putting in the work, getting to do what you need to do. Like you said, don't say no, be more of a yes person. Is a very important thing for that as well. So I think your story will be very inspiring for the next generation of female leaders as well. So what advice would you give girls and young women to achieve their dreams beyond what you've already said?
Yeah, I think it's so important that there's no shortcut to the work that you have to put in to get where you want to be. I always say the weak get eaten, in the real world. So it's important to be strong and have a certain confidence in yourself as you move forward, and meet the right people and do a great job. When you get opportunities, be willing to just be great at them. And you never know which opportunity is going to lead to more opportunities. So be willing to accept things that maybe you don't see how it correlates with what you want to do ultimately, but take that chance with it.
Absolutely. I think networking, you were kind of saying that a little bit between the lines, is also a very important thing. Do you have any tips for networking maybe as well?
For me, it started just kind of speaking to people and going to different events that I really didn't want to go to and didn't want to speak to. But once I started doing that, I started meeting more and more people and really expanding my network. So, you mentioned the power of yes earlier, and that was big to me when I started doing those things.
Yeah, definitely. It's once you go out there, jump in the cold water, then confidence will hopefully follow. Absolutely right. All right, taking care of oneself mentally and physically is very important and necessary, maybe even more during Corona times than before, since we don't have maybe the outlets that we usually had. So, what is your best way to clear your head or to recharge?
For me, I try to get a workout in every day of some sort just to kind of change things up and get out of the office for a bit. It's hopefully it's warming up soon, so I'll be able to get outside to walk and run a little bit. That's what I really enjoy, especially in Ashburn. It's such a nice area to do that. But I like TV. I like to just hang out. I'm a foodie, so I like to get a good meal. But those are the things that really kind of centers me and kind of keeps me balanced.
All right, yeah. And considering the circumstances, this is a library program, I do feel compelled to ask, what is the last book you read?
The last book I read, it's actually a book in progress of the new President Obama book.
The new memoir.
I'm on that now. Yeah, it's thick. It's a thick one. So it's
a very thick one. Yes, I've actually started it as well. So yeah, you need to put some time aside for it. But yeah, that promises to be a very good read.
Absolutely, I'm enjoying it.
Do you have a favorite book beyond the playbook for the Washington football team, of course?
Yeah, my favorite book is obviously sports related, but the Mamba Mentality, the Kobe Bryant book, was big for me. And I mean, I loved it obviously before he passed away, but now it's even more special.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, very good. Those were actually really all the questions I had. There's one more. What is next for you, Coach King?
Just be the best assistant running backs coach I can be. That's the plan heading into the off season and the new year.
Yeah, I think you are well on your way. Really made quite some progress already last season. Won the NFC East title. So of course we're all waiting to see more of that. And we wish you a great season with the Washington football team. And best of success, of course. And we thank you very much for sitting down with us today and sharing your experience and advice with the community.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much, Coach King. Yeah. It's been an immense pleasure to talk with Jennifer King, assistant coach of the Washington football team. Please also check out interviews with the other featured speakers on Loudoun County Public Library's YouTube channel. All right, I think that was the last thing I had to say. So since we are taping this, might potentially cut out some bloopers, but I think we got through this pretty well. So again, thank you very much. It's really been a pleasure and a privilege talking with you, Coach King.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.